discovering the hidden links, an adventure in English relative clauses. Hello, language explorers. Welcome to today's English lesson where we are going to dive deep into the fascinating world of relative clauses. But not just any part of relative clauses, we are going to focus on an essential aspect of them: relative pronouns. By the end of this video, you will be able to effortlessly recognize and use relative pronouns to craft complex and fluent English sentences. So, let's get started. Before we start identifying relative pronouns, it's crucial to understand what relative clauses are. Relative clauses are types of dependent clauses that provide additional information about the nouns in a sentence. They are like the extra details or hidden messages that make our sentences richer and more meaningful. And the key to unlocking these messages? You guessed it, it's the relative pronouns. Now that we know what relative clauses are, let's identify our heroes for the day: the relative pronouns. These are the words that introduce the relative clause in a sentence. They relate to the noun that they are providing additional information about. The most commonly used relative pronouns in English are who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who, whom. These are used for people. Who is for the subject of the clause and whom for the object. For example, the woman who called you is my friend. The man to whom you spoke is my brother. Whose. This is used to indicate possession. For example, the boy whose dog is lost is crying. Which. This is used for things. For example, the car which is parked outside is mine. That. This can be used for both people and things. For example, the book that you borrowed is due today. The woman that you saw is my teacher. Remember, these relative pronouns directly follow the noun they are relating to. Now that we know our heroes, let's put them to the test. When you see a sentence, look for one of the relative pronouns we've just learned. If you find one, there's a high chance a relative clause is lurking around. The relative clause usually starts with the relative pronoun and ends at the next punctuation mark or the end of the sentence. For example, in the sentence, the woman who lives next door is a doctor. Who lives next door is the relative clause providing more information about the woman. And that's a wrap, explorers. You've now learned how to identify relative clauses in sentences and, more importantly, how to recognize relative pronouns. Now that you know this, your English sentences can become richer and more nuanced. Keep practicing what you've learned today and soon it will be second nature to you. We hope this video was helpful and made your English language journey a bit easier. Remember, language learning is an adventure, and you're doing fantastic. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you in our next lesson.